Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. This Saturday lunchtime video is going to be a preview of tomorrow afternoon's Celtic against St Johnstone match. It's an away match in Perth. Kickoff is at 12 noon and the game will be live on Sky Sports. And Celtic will be looking to get themselves 3 points closer to league title number 55. Celtic need a total of 9 points to guarantee the title, and in effect, 8 points would likely be good enough because of our massive advantage in terms of goal difference. And it may well be by the time we kick off tomorrow at 12 noon against St Johnstone that required total is down from 9 to less than 9, depending on how Hibs and Rangers get on later on this afternoon on Saturday. In today's video, we're going to have a wee look at my predicted lineup and predicted score, some stats regarding the St Johnstone against Celtic fixture, the form the two clubs are in terms of the league going into this match tomorrow lunchtime. And we're also going to have a wee look at the 10 goals Celtic have scored without reply in the two games against St Johnstone so far this season. 6-0 away win back in September and a 4-0 home win between Christmas and New Year of 2024. Kasper Schmeichel is back in very limited training with Celtic. However, according to Brendan Rodgers in his press conference yesterday, on Friday, it's simply to keep up his fitness, work on his ball skills, using and distributing the ball, and is not goalkeeping training. And given the fact that he is expected out for 5 to 6 weeks, it would be very, very reckless to have him back catching balls and crosses and making saves and diving onto his shoulder, as it would very likely worsen the injury and delay his recovery. However, these are good signs, and it may be that the 5-6 weeks that's first been quoted might cut down to 3 or 4 weeks, which of course will be good for Celtic in the long run. It would appear that everybody else is fit and able to play, apart from Liam Scales, who's back in training, although non-contract training, but Scales should be available to be in the squad for next weekend's game against Kilmarnock and the following weekend against St Johnstone in the Cup semi-final. On the basis of the up-to-date news on fitness, etc., prior to Celtic's Saturday morning training session, my predicted lineup's going to be Sinisalo in goals, back four of Johnston, Carter-Vickers, Trusty and Schlupp. I think Rodgers will get Trusty back into the side at the first opportunity now that he is fully fit. And similarly, with all the indications being that Greg Taylor is leaving the club, I think Schlupp will be the primary left-back player for the duration of the season, with Taylor maybe coming off the bench or making a start or two, potentially in Celtic's last home game of the season, so that he gets a good send-off from the crowd. In midfield, I think Celtic will keep going with their best three, which of course is McGregor, Engels and Hatate. There is a possibility we might see Paulo Bernardo coming in to give Rio Hatate a wee bit of a rest, as Hatate has played more games for Celtic this season than any other player. He hasn't actually missed a game. He's either started or come on as a sub in every single Celtic game this season. Up front, I think Celtic again will keep going with the front three that did so well against Hearts. Kuhn on the right, Jota on the left, and Maeda through the middle. Although I do suspect that Yang and Forrest and Ida will all get on an early opportunity if Celtic get a few goals up with half an hour to play. In terms of the stats and form guide going into tomorrow lunchtime's fixture, Celtic have in the last 7 games had 5 wins and 2 defeats. That, of course, was the disappointing 2-1 loss to Hibs at Easter Road and the even more disappointing 3-2 loss to Rangers at Celtic Park. St Johnstone's form in the last 7 league matches: 2 wins, 2 draws, and 3 defeats. And their new manager, Valakari, has at last started to make some changes and improvement in St Johnstone's form and results. But I still think Celtic will be the winner tomorrow quite comfortably. Looking at Celtic against St Johnstone head to head in all competitions all time, Celtic have 61 wins, 9 draws, and just 8 defeats over all that time. Celtic are on a run of 15 away wins in a row against St Johnstone, and St Johnstone haven't beaten Celtic since May 2016, and over that spell, Celtic have, in those last 31 games, 27 wins and 4 draws. And as I said, getting on for 9 years since we've lost St Johnstone in any game. Just going to pop in the goals from the last two Celtic St Johnstone matches: the 6-0 win back in September and the 4-0 win just after Christmas last year. And then we'll finish off with my own prediction of the result for tomorrow and one or two wee final thoughts. So I think those goals and the last two games against St Johnstone this 24-25 season shows that Celtic on form are going to very easily beat St Johnstone in Sunday's game. I suspect St Johnstone will go for all-out defence and trying to hit Celtic on the break. And right at the start of the 23-24 season, that was successful for St Johnstone with a 0-0 draw against Celtic at Celtic Park early in Brendan Rodgers' second spell as Celtic manager. But I don't see that happening again, and I think Celtic will have another comfortable win over St Johnstone. As you could have seen from those goals, Kyogo has scored 4 of the 10 goals so far this season against St Johnstone, and he of course won't be playing on Sunday, but I think Dyson Maida, Nicholas Kuhn, Adam Ida and the midfielders can easily make that up. And I think also Jota could well be in the goals tomorrow, and I think part of the key for Celtic is going to be getting Jota and Kuhn working out wide with Schlupp and Johnson overlapping them and delivering balls into the box, and also using the ball over the top by the defenders and McGregor and Hatate, Engels and Paolo Bernardo, etc., from midfield over the top for Dyson Maida to run onto using his pace, a wee bit similar to how Kyogo exploited them on a couple of occasions so far this season. The other player who, of course, does actually have a very good scoring record against St Johnstone is James Forrest, and it would be lovely to see him coming off the bench with maybe half an hour to go or so in the game, and keeping up his remarkable record of having scored at least one goal for Celtic every season throughout his whole first team career. And I do so hope that by the end of the season, he's added another goal to his career tally for Celtic. And of course, he's going to be on course to beat Bobby Lennox's record of career trophies at Celtic, with hopefully a league and a Scottish Cup yet to come. So, in terms of the actual predicted score for tomorrow, I think Celtic's going to win comfortably 4 or 5 nil. I don't see St Johnstone scoring against Celtic, and I'm very hopeful that Celtic will get on top in the game nice and early, get a goal in the first 15-20 minutes, and then pile on the pressure against St Johnstone, and add some goals to the tally. Then get players such as McGregor and Maeda and Jota and Kuhn off for a bit of a rest, maybe throwing on Forrest, Yang, Ida, McCowan, Paulo Bernardo, etc. Looking through the various different Celtic news sites, sports sites, and football sites this morning on Saturday, up to time of recording around about 1 p.m. on Saturday. No other really major news stories. Nothing definite in terms of players coming in. Nothing definite as yet about Greg Taylor leaving, although there are a lot of stories and rumours suggesting that his free agent transfer to Dinamo Zagreb is soon to be confirmed and soon to go through, but as yet nothing definite, and nothing further regarding any other players leaving Celtic or coming into Celtic. And so that just about finishes things off for this Saturday late morning, early afternoon video. I will be doing a post-match review of the Celtic St Johnstone match, either later on Sunday or more likely Monday morning. And so, as we finish, just a wee polite suggestion, encouragement. If you are new to the channel, not yet subscribed, please do click that subscriber button. Keep the numbers pushing past 1200. And do feel free to pop your own thoughts regarding the lineup, the score, and any other Celtic issues into the comment section for a nice wee polite chat debate amongst like-minded Celtic fans. And so until the next video, good luck Celtic in your win over St Johnstone on Sunday. Goodbye and hail hail.